That's what I was saying.
All right. Just talking to the mic one more time. You can hear yourself fine?
Yo.
Your level's okay in your ears?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
All right, cool, bro. You ready to just hop into it?
Let's just fucking hop into it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo Chill podcast. It's June in Jersey. And funny enough, I did not expect to have you in June in Jersey, but you hit me up and, I was just like, cool. I checked out your shit and I was like, bet, another artist from Jersey and
Gotta hustle.
also someone from my high school that I actually didn't expect. We haven't talked since like...
Yo, everybody, I'm a rapper, but at the same time, I was doing theater, okay?
Word.
You know what? At the end of the day, fuck it. Tupac did theater, okay? Remember that. Tupac did theater, all right?
Tupac did do theater. But my boy, take a couple seconds, minutes, let the people know who you are and where you're from.
My dad is Michael Jackson. My mom is Whitney Houston. Nah, I'm just playing. All right. My name is Gini-MOB. I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. I'm from North Jersey. I lived back and forth a lot between North Jersey and Pennsylvania, so shout out to all my people in the Keystone. I grew up listening to all types of music, from rock and roll to hip hop to R&B to pop to 90s classics, freestyle. I just love fucking music. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without it. Coming up from the type of childhood I came up from, music is the only thing that is probably the main reason I'm here today.
Word, dude. I could definitely relate, dude. Music is my life, and it's literally dictated almost every single major decision I've made with my life, and I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
So let's just hop right into it, bro. Tell me, actually, the first thing I was actually thinking about this. The first thing I want to hop into, your name.
Gini-MOB?
Yes. Little controversial, no? Or it's like, how did you come up with the name? Like, and did it stick?
Well, when I was a child, like, I'm not sure if I'm answering for everybody who comes from my cultural background.
Speak your truth, bro.
But if you were Italian, especially Southern Italian, like my family is from Sicily, my family's from Napoli, you would understand, like, in America, a lot of times some of the people that come from the same racial background as me don't feel like they belong. Like, you got people that'll tell you you're white. You got people that'll tell you you're not white. And, and then you look at your history, and then it really makes you think. Like, when people tell you, like, you're not, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, but other people were calling me, you're so fucking confused. So then you go and you look into your history, and then you realize how you were, your culture and the people that are in your ancestry were treated when they came to America. And you're like, oh, damn, like, that's horrible. Like, dude, like, people, like, there were Southern Italians that were hung, Southern, like just annexed off of the face of the earth. Like Sacco and Vanzetti, that was a big thing. And literally, the mayor of New Orleans just apologized to all the people for the killing of. I'm sorry, I got my stories mixed up. The mayor of New Orleans just apologized for. It was a record of the most lynchings of a single race in a day. There were, I think, 12 Italians lynched in New Orleans in once. Like, literally, like, a couple of years before. I don't know if it was at 19 something. It was like late 1890s, early 1900s. There were 12 Italians lynched. Like, and I saw that, and it just for being Italian, it had nothing to do with. Like, and it just really got me, because I'm like, man, this is crazy. So it's like, you had a lot of white people that would laugh at me, and then you have a lot of people of other cultures just put me in a white spectrum.
Word.
Which is just like, it's like, where the hell do I fall? Like, and then people called me Guinea when I was in Pennsylvania. A lot of people did. Like, I had a mustache at 13. Like, I sat alone at lunch. Like, I know what it's like to feel alone, because practically everybody in my school at the time was white, and they didn't want to sit near me. There was one Spanish kid in my school that me and him sat together in lunch when I was a kid. Nobody wanted to sit near me. So, I mean, I know what it's like to feel outcasted.
For sure.
And I think that's a big reason why I do what I do today, because I used to, and when people turn away from you, you just kind of wonder why. Why are these people turning away from me? So you try to please everybody, you start following, and then you just hit that epiphany along the road where you just is like, you know what? Fuck what everybody else thinks. Like, I'm me. And then you just start making your own path. And then that's how you start getting people to follow you and people to start working with you and seeing you for who you are.
Facts, bro. And so this all like culminated into like the name Gini-MOB.
Yeah, because everybody called me Guinea. And the thing is, when Italians were oppressed and everything upon their arrival, what did they do to get out of that? They retaliated. The mob. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just made that whole, and it kind of explains me, because like I could be the nicest person in the world, which is what Italians are. But if you mess with me, I can be totally different, like my alter ego in my music. Gini-MOB, he's the villain.
Word. And you know, I think it speaks for itself. You're very proud to be Italian, and that's something I could really respect too, because I'm Peruvian, and I'm super proud.
I
to
love
be
the
Peruvian.
food. I love Peruvian food, man. Shout out Shalfa rice, man, with the egg and all that. Oh my God! I went to my first Peruvian restaurant. I went to was on Union Boulevard in Totowa, New Jersey. It was called Joey's. The poor man passed away. I used to talk to him in Italian. He talked back in Spanish. It was pretty cool. And then I tried, because when I went there, I was like, I never had Peruvian food before.
Word.
I got the simple thing. I got the rotisserie chicken with the shalfa rice. Oh man, yo, that stuff spoke to my soul with the green sauce. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, it's sick. It's sick. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, Peruvian food is I'm a little bit biased. Honestly, I would say if you ever had to put a head-to-head of best foods in the United States, it'd probably be a mix between like Peruvian food and in general, because I'm obviously biased, right? Because I love Peruvian food, but Italian food, I never get tired of it. The different types of pastas, meatball marinara, eggplant parmesan. You know what I mean? Eggplant parm, and that shit's amazing.
I make homemade pizza and everything. It's in my genes. Like since I was a kid, I'd make I know how to make pizza dough, fresh mozzarella. I know how to make all that stuff.
So perfect segue. You know, talking about when you were little. So you told me you kind of grew up in between New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Right.
Like, how was it growing up? You know, were you born in New Jersey? Were you born in Pennsylvania?
So I was born in New Jersey. I was born. I don't remember the hospital I was born. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. But my family lived in like Patterson, Little Falls area. And then when I was about 4, my family was going through their issues and stuff. And then like they moved to Pennsylvania. And then I was back and forth. My parents split. I was back and forth as a kid between my father's family and then my mom. My father wasn't really around. He was in and out of jail and stuff. So I didn't really have my father growing up.
Word.
But yeah, I mean, when I was in Pennsylvania, I feel like I experienced more of like the racism as being Italian, and it was more, Pennsylvania was definitely more white when I was there. I feel like it got a little more integrated since I left. When I had moved back home to Jersey, I didn't have that same issue anymore. Like, I felt like I got away from that because everybody else, there was so many different cultures in PV. Like, I didn't have that issue. Like, I just kind of felt like I fit in a lot more home in New Jersey, like, than I did.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, there was a lot of Italians that I knew.
Yeah, man, I fit in. Like,
yeah, dude.
And not even that, just like everybody else, like, every other culture in our school didn't really care who you were. Like, you were just, they respected you as a person, and I didn't get that where I was. Actually, there's my one best friend I had in PA is a white kid, and he's like my brother. His family is amazing. Like there was a point in my life where like I had nowhere to go, and they adopted me for a whole year. That kid is fucking unbelievable. Like, his family is amazing. They're my family for life. Like, I'll never, like, his sisters are my sisters. Like, family. Like,
word. No,
boom.
I get that. And it's crazy. Do you feel like a lot of your, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from looking at you, but a lot of your Italian, like, heritage, I think, plays into, like, this. So is Gini-MOB, I guess I'm kind of like mixing up a lot of questions here. So is Gini-MOB a persona, or is it like a part of you, or is it like, you say he's a villain? So like, do you feel like you're playing more of a character?
I feel like, yeah, like, well, I feel like I am playing a character, but I feel like a lot of Gini-MOB's, attributes and stuff lives in my life. Like, it came from me. It came from my thoughts. It came from me. Like, and at the end of the day, like, people think a lot of shit, but people don't actually do it. Thing is, I think it. I'm not doing it, but on the mic, I am doing it. On the mic, I'm showing you, like, Gini-MOB was my way to manhood. Not having a dad. Like, the minute I touched that microphone, it was like, that's it. Like, I rule this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rule everything now. Like, I can get on the mic and just be powerful with my words and like, thanks to hip hop.
Word, no, I could respect that. So when did you start getting into music? When did you start getting into rapping?
So, like, as I said, like, I always got into, like, I love all music, but thing is, when I would go to my aunt's house, they always had rock and roll playing. They always had, like, the cool shit. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, it made me respect instruments and music and sound. I got into hip hop with my mom. So it's like, I love music, but then I fell in love with hip hop. It's weird. It's like, so when I was with my mother, I would listen to hip hop as a kid, and I just couldn't. It's not like I could relate to it at the moment. It's just I couldn't understand it because I was too young. But I hit a certain age where I've had so much experience with hardship in my life, and my mom put on. It was a song by Tupac. It was called "Dear Mama." And this was around the time my sister had found out she had a different father. So me and her, like, she moved with her dad and stuff. And it was really hard on me because, so I'm listening to Dear Mama. And there's this part where Tupac's like, and even though we had different daddies, the same drama when things went wrong, we blame mama. I was like, damn, that's my situation. Like, he just said that shit. I could relate to him so much, probably more than anybody else, because I was in the same exact position right now. And I'm like, damn, like, he probably felt so much better after saying that shit. So, like, anyway, so I started really studying Tupac. And I had every one of his albums. That's how I really got into hip hop. I started rapping, and
this was around, like, what age?
I want to say 13.
Word.
I started recording stuff. It was horrible, but it was like you could tell I was mimicking him. But now I've gotten to grow, and I like a lot more of hip hop. I've listened to everything now, like everything my mom would listen to, I'd be on there listening to satellite radio. I fell in love with EPMD. There's one of the biggest duos in hip hop history. I fell in love with Nas, Biggie, Pac, Eminem, Queen Latifah, the freaking Naughty by Nature. I mean, Tretch is amazing. Like, Tretch is a crazy ass rapper. I old school hip hop just really really got me to where I am now.
So it's actually crazy. I've been studying your music, obviously listening and, like, making sure, like, I'm all prepped for the pod, and yeah, I could really see that reflect upon your music, what I mean? And I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like your flow in some things, I'm feeling like Eminem, but then, like, like Eminem's very technical, speaking fast, what I mean, and it's clean, and some of your songs have that, but then I like the switch on and off of kind of like an old school type vibe, and it's not for nothing, like I listen to your music, and I'm a very blunt person, and I'm always the type of person, like, you want to talk about your music, you want me to listen to stuff, I'll tell you straight up. Been in the music industry for now fucking shit. I've been in it since high school. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I'm listening and I'm like, fuck, I can't rap as good as this guy. And I used to be in a fucking hip hop group, like, rapping around, like, New York and Jersey and shit.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. No, for real. So how is your writing process like? Like, you actually. Nah, let's not go there. Yeah,
I'm open to it.
No. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
I want to get to, so when you started listening to hip hop around like 13 years old, right?
Right.
So when was it?
Well, I was younger, but I didn't understand it
Yeah,
until
yeah.
I was like 13. That was when it spoke to me.
So when was it that you first started like writing like raps?
That age.
That age?
I remember I was with my one friend, and we were just like, it was around the time where I was into Drake too.
Yeah.
So I was into Tupac, but what was popping at that time was Take Care by Drake. So then it was that whole album. So then that, and then the Carter with Wayne.
Yeah.
So then my one friend was like, yo, he was like, yo, we need to like do a song together. I was like, yeah, fuck it, bro. Let's start writing. So he starts writing. Dude, he was biting the hell off of Wayne and Drake. I was just like listening to it. And the crazy thing was I could tell it. And then I don't even, my first rap name was called The Everlasting. I don't know how the hell I came up with that, but I was just like having fun. But that was when I started writing, and I just wrote my verse. And then like he couldn't stay on beat, but for some reason I naturally could stay on beat. My flow pattern and everything wasn't so enhanced like it is now.
Word.
But even back then I could still stay on beat, so I sounded professional. And I remember like, and I was saying some crazy shit, and then like my family would just like my mom and my sister and my brother, we'd be in the car, we put the CD in, like I made my own CD at the time. Mind you, I'm only like I'm literally 13, 14 years old, and they're putting the CD in, they're bumping, they would laugh at my friend's verse, and then they would be like, oh, you did good, you know. But like and he was actually good, like he said some slick stuff too, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just like I knew how to stay on beat, and I think that's something he was still trying to figure out. I wish I could have helped him more, but we kind of like at a certain point we didn't talk as much. We just kind of had our own lives. But.
Yeah, dude, is what happened. So when did you finally get to record your first song? Was that your first song that you were just mentioning before?
No, well, yeah, I recorded that, but it wasn't in a studio or anything. That was just over a phone.
Yeah. So what was the first song that's like
the first song I ever recorded in a studio? Was this song I wrote, rest in peace, because he just passed away like this past year. It was called Danny Tanner. I wrote a song called Danny Tanner, and I made my own beat on that song and everything. I went to the studio, I recorded it, and then I got this dude. I don't know if you ever heard the song by Oran Juice Jones, The Rain?
I don't think I have.
I saw you and him walking in the rain. You never heard that song?
Maybe I'd have to listen.
So that song, his son jumped on my song with me, my own single. So I was like, oh,
that's
shit.
sick.
Yeah, and I was just that I didn't even know where I was at the time. So like, cause I was going to college for music, and my professor, shout out to Bobby Deitch, he told me to go record with this guy in the studio, and when I was there, I just saw an album for Redman. I was like, wait, where the hell am I, yo? Because Redman is a big deal. So I found out he was an engineer for Redman, and he had his own studio, and this was in New York. And this is where I met Mookie Jones, they call him, Oran Juice Jones, or Orange Juice II. He jumped on my song with me, and me and him, you know, we had that single out. I didn't put it on I wasn't at the Spotify point yet. I was at like SoundCloud and YouTube.
Word.
So that was my first song I ever recorded in a studio.
And how was it received by like your family, friends, and just people in general?
People fucked with it. I mean, people were really getting into it. It was good. It was good. People actually liked it. People were more impressed with the stuff I was recording before, though, like when I was in high school. Like I started recording, like I ended up getting my own laptop. I had a Disney microphone that somebody bought me. I would sing into it, and that's how I started recording my first, like, can you imagine saying fuck this and fuck that on a fucking Disney mic?
That actually sounds pretty fucking hilarious.
Like, Goofy. Yo, fuck you too, Goofy. Just like, but that's all I had at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make what I love doing.
That's
I don't
exactly
care.
What you got to do. And there's no fucking shame in it. You know, it's weird. I'm trying to find like, with most rappers that I know, and anybody who's trying to get into the game, or like, you know, before they release their first song, you know, they're rapping, and I feel like, you know, have you ever experienced like, you know, it not being well received, people not taking you seriously for your craft, and like, you know, how did you push through that?
I hated criticism at first. I was like,
Mm.
a lot of people love me. The thing is, I had so much love because it's like they said the people actually thought I was good, and that's what gave me the strength to keep going. But even when I hit constructive like criticism of people, and it's not even people being criticized. It's not even people criticizing you on your talent and your music. It's people criticizing you just on who you are. Again, that's always a problem I've always ran with. I always ran into. I mean, is when people judge you by you. Fuck your music. They judge you by you, and that's what really made me like. It really hit me hard for a while, for the longest time. Like no matter what I did, people still didn't give a shit about what I was doing. They still just fuck this kid, like he sucks, whatever. So I had to really hit a point where I was like, damn, there's millions of other people right now out there in the world, and I need to stop focusing on the people who don't care about me and keep pushing my shit, because I am going to run into people that do care about what I do. And all these other people who don't care, I don't give a fuck. That I had to live with that. And honestly, that's where I really got into Eminem, is because I realized how he came out it was when he stopped caring about what other people thought. Just said what he wanted to say, and that's it. And that's honestly the mentality I've been pushing to keep and hold, because I feel like that's the only thing that's going to save me at the end.
Nah, I 100% agree with that. You know, I was actually I just did a podcast with a guest yesterday. Her name's Lupe Dragon. She's like an alternate like indie like, you know, a pop singer. And we were talking about how important social media is to build your brand, build your music, and get your music out there. And we were talking about, you know, doing TikToks, Instagram, and making sure your shit is quality, and how you have to not care about what you put out, because people are always going to perceive you a certain way, but your art is going to speak for itself, you know? And obviously, you know, it sucks. I think there's definitely some points, even as a podcaster, as a musician, as an engineer, you know, I've had times where people like, you know, like you get that, you know, people see you first and then your art later, and they judge the fuck out of you for who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Cause it's funny, like, you know, your music is very like, it's hard. You know what I mean? I don't even mean like hard, like as in it's good. I do think it's good though. I fuck with your rapping, but like, it's like you said, your Gini-MOB, like, you know, personas, it's like evil, you know? And so like, it's like hard rap. And, you know, but when I met you upstairs, you're a bubbly ass person. You know what I mean? You're a giggly dude, and that's cool, bro. Like that's cool too. That's a part of your personality, but that doesn't necessarily have to do with your art. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like that Gini-MOB part is like I said, it's like my manhood. It's like me showing that I could be just as hard as anybody else. Like you could be as hard as you want to me on the street. I could be hard too. Like, and when it goes, I will fuck your life up on a microphone. Everybody will be looking at you after I put a song out. That's how I want to live. If people are gonna try to embarrass me, I will embarrass them harder on the microphone. That's what battle rap's about, and that's where I've been really trying to perfect and have that persona, because I feel like as long as I rule this mic, I could rule anything.
That's sick. So I think we've kind of touched upon it, but I'm guessing at a young age you already knew that music was gonna be your thing.
Yeah, like there's a song I actually sang that I wrote. I did a remix. Do you listen to Fat Joe at all?
Nah, but I know who he is.
He had an album, and there was a song he did with Eminem, and it's called Lord Above. So I did a remix to it, and what did I say? I was like, I hugged my Roddy in tears. Wait, hold on. What did I say? It was about when I was a kid, my mother, her ex-husband put a gun to my head. And I was a kid, and I remember just like running away with my Rottweiler somewhere. And like, I had nobody. Like, where the fuck could I go? Like, I didn't have my grandparents' phone number. I was just sitting somewhere like, dude, if I go back there, I'm fucking wasted. Like it was just one of those things like, fuck, man. Like, you never know what it feels like until you're in my shoes and you're sitting there and you got a Rottweiler and you're by yourself. A man's about to shoot you and your dog, you think, in your head. You're like, what the fuck do I do? Like, he just pulled a 9M out right on me and my dog. So Anyways, so when I wrote that song, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I was like, I hugged my Roddy in tears. I had no time to show fear. Was alone, no one could hear. Only friend then was my mirror. It's been like this a few years. The liquid fallen is clear. Had no one who would adhere. The microphone was my peer. Like, that's my only friend at the time. The only person I could talk to and could understand me was that microphone.
Dude, that's sick, dude. I respect the fuck out of that. So talk to me. Fuck, I didn't realize like how rough your childhood was. So
Yeah.
So talk to, like, are you open to talk about it and like,
Yeah.
just go through it? So
I mean, I'd been through numerous stepdads.
Mm-hmm.
All of them hated me because I wasn't their kid. I mean, and that's one thing that honestly I get into a thing now is like with my son, like I can't imagine him having a stepdad. I don't know how they're going to treat him. And that's why I need to be in his life.
I respect
I
that.
feel like the way I lived, I refuse to let my son live the same way. My son will not have a stepdad hitting him and shit like I had to go through. Like, it's not... it's freaking crazy. Even though it made me who I am today, my son don't need to go through that to be a good person. But anyway, so my mom, you know, she was married to a couple of guys. A lot of them beat the shit out of me when I was a kid. I went through a lot of child abuse, child services, protective services, all that stuff. Cops at our door all the time, sitting in court. You know, where the hell am I going to go? Where am I going to sleep? You know, I was with my grandparents, and then when they died, my mind was all fucked because they died when I was 14. I felt like they were my parents at the time. Just as parentful as my mom. I can't take anything away from my mom because even though, you know, she went through what we had our roads and you know, our rough patches, but I got to give a lot of credit to my mother because like for the first 15, 16 years of my life, she made sure I was good and got me to where I can at least get around and figure my situation out. And not only that, but she taught me a lot of things that I know today. And like, I feel like being a parent is hard as hell. And I feel like I don't give her enough credit because of everything I went through. I kind of used, like Tupac said, we blame mama. Like a lot of times I would blame her for stuff that maybe I shouldn't. And just understand she's a human being. Like, even though I'm a father now, I would never do to my son what was done to me. You learn from your childhood. But like I said, I still love and respect my mom for teaching me tradition, cooking Sunday dinner, giving me that you know, that thought of what a family is supposed to be like, having a Sunday dinner. Yeah, was her ex-husband's not the best? Fuck no. But at the end of the day, she still tried her best to give me that image of what I should be living my life like as a man. And I respect my mom for that. And that's why I made my one song, Forever a Mama's Boy, because I'm always going to love my mom, you know? Like I said, we had our rough patches, but at the end of the day, that's my mother.
No, dude, I respect the shit out of that, dude. You know, but I feel a lot of parallels to you, man. Like, you know, I love my mom. She gave up so much, you know, for me to get through, and you know, thankfully I didn't have to go to as rough as a childhood as you do. Like, I respect the shit out of that, dude. And you know, coming out of there and coming out on top, and also having like, you know, like you know, you have a good energy around you, dude. I mean, like, I know we haven't talked in years. You know, it's funny. We were talking a little bit before about it, but we went to high school together.
Yeah.
And the first time I remember, well, you know what's funny? I remember you being a part of the football team, but we never really talked like that. And I think it had to be my junior year of high school, because I think you're a year older than me, or you in the same grade, right?
I graduated in 2015.
2015, and I was 2016, right? So it was our music theater class, right?
Yeah.
And how I remember it, and tell me if you remember it differently, because this is my core memory of you. Because like when we had reached out DMs, I was like, damn, I know this motherfucker from somewhere, bro.
I knew
like,
you.
I was
you
like,
know what?
I
All right.
Yeah.
So you want to know how I found you?
How'd you find me?
My music. So, my cousin Alex, God bless that kid, man, because whenever there's a lane for him to talk about me, he does it. And I love that kid. He's like my brother, because when I was 16, my aunt and my uncle adopted me and let me finish high school there. So my cousin Tiana, my cousin Maximus, my cousin Alex, they're like my sister and brothers. Like, even though they're my cousin by blood, by paper and everything, they're my sister and brother. So my brother Alex, He's at a party with Tom Ibrahim and Aunt Stefanelli. So they're sitting there bullshitting, and Aunt Stefanelli graduated in my class. So then Alex is like, you know my cousin Dante? Oh, yeah, I know Dante. I chill with him all the time. What's he been up to? Oh, he rapping and shit now. So then he just started playing my music, and Aunt and Tom were going into it. And then Alex told me about it, gave me Anthony's Instagram because they're like, dude, they love your music. I was like, I appreciate that, man. So I go on his Instagram, follow and everything. Shout out Aunt Stefanelli. Boss. I looked at his page and I was like, man, this dude, yo, he'd be drinking them beers like a champ. He said something on the podcast with you, like, if I don't have like an 18-pack in front of me, I ain't drinking. Like, yo, I respect you, man. I respect you.
Yeah,
like,
let me tell you, he's pretty wild. Yeah. It's a wild guy. You know, I had to have him on the podcast. One, he reached out and he kept asking, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna see what my boy has to say. And it's funny. I thought the podcast in of itself was very tame. Very tame. You
can have a podcast with one of them people that just want to live their average life, and that shit would be the best podcast you ever have. Anyway, shout out Aunt Stefanelli. Yeah. So I found his Instagram page. I followed him, and then that was when I found you, and then I'm like looking at you, and I saw you had a goatee, so I didn't recognize you at first.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
When I started looking at your facial features more, I'm like, I know this motherfucker. Like, I know him from somewhere. So then he went to school with me. I'm like, did he play football? I have no fucking idea. But I knew I used to chill with him, and we was kicking it in high school. So that was when I hit you up.
Word. Yeah, dude. And I remember, bro, like I was saying, like we had theater class together, and it was my junior year, your senior year. And I remember Miss A, shout out Miss A from the theater class. She, I remember since it was like theater 1, right? I think that was the class, right? And you're just learning how to act, improv, whatever. I remember she was like, all right. She's like, for the first thing like we do in class, like you just have to perform anything on stage. Like, whatever, dude. Right? And I was like, all right, cool. And I think like some people told stories, like some people did this. And you went up on stage and you're like, I'm going to rap.
I was gonna rap. I did rap in high school.
Yeah, and you did rap, and I remember
at the talent
that.
show and everything.
Yeah, and I remember everybody in class. It's funny, dude, because high school's a fucking weird place, man. Because high school's one of those environments where it's like either the most unsupportive or supportive, right? And it's like really it goes by how many people you fuck with or not, or how many people fuck with you, right?
So who you know, and that's the world. That's even the world when you leave.
Yeah. But it's like in high school you're so immature that like, you know, one person's like, I don't know how I feel about him. Yeah. And then everybody's like, yo, oh no, fuck him. Like that. And I remember you going up rapping, and I was there, and I was like, oh shit, like this guy's like rapping, he's doing this thing, right? I remember all the people in class, like they were just like so fucking confused. They're like, what is this kid doing fucking rapping? And I was just like, bro, it's fucking
hello, it's music theater, motherfuckers.
No, exactly, bro. And you brought up a good point. It's like, you know, Tupac acted, he did all that shit.
Yo, like, come on, man.
But yeah,
Tupac had his tutu on. No, I fucking love Tupac, man. Don't.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? It's like I remember that core memory. So when you came on, I was like, oh shit. And it's dope as fuck to see like the progression of what you were then, and now you're still pursuing music now. And that to me, that tells me, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, this kid is serious about what he wants to do. And that's the number one thing. Like the people who I have on the podcast, there's not really a you need to be a certain thing, you know, to come on the podcast. Like I don't give a fuck if you're like I love Aunt Stefanelli, but you know, I don't care if you're like Aunt Stefanelli and just drunk. You know what I mean? You know, like I asked him, I was like, what do you do? And he's like, nothing right now. And I'm like, man, all right, you know,
you a champ, man.
Yeah, he's definitely a champ. And you know, he didn't even want to. I offered him a beer, you know, when he came into the
because
pod.
it wasn't an 18-pack, yo.
Yeah. He said he was like, he's like, I can't have one, or else I'll just keep going. And he's like,
exactly,
and I can't. What did he say exactly on the podcast? He's like, I don't just. Yeah, I think he was like, I don't just drink one beer. Like I have to keep going and going. I was like, oh shit, you know. But yeah, no, like I was saying, like there's no real like, you know, you don't need to be a certain thing to be on the podcast. I'd podcast with anybody, but as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, or like, you know, your Instagram, or you know, I could see some visual or something that could prove to me that you're passionate about what you do, I would love to sit here and talk to you. You know, that's basically the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too, because like, you know, even if people were sitting in that, you know, auditorium during that class and they were like, what the fuck is this kid doing? The biggest thing I learned is like, dude, like nobody there in that room, including myself,
is involved with you right now.
Well, not even that. My point being, which is very fucking true, because fuck that. But nobody in that room, including myself, was looking at you and knew your backstory. Nobody cared to ask.
Nope.
And I'm very sure that when everybody was sitting down, when you were rapping, they might have been hearing you, but they weren't listening.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big difference. There's
Yeah.
a huge difference. They weren't listening to, and that's the power of hip hop. That's the power of rap. That's the power of, you know, spoken word. You know, and if people aren't listening, it's like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
And you know what?
Well, that's the problem with today's society. Is don't get me wrong, I love music, I love production, I love engineering and all that stuff. But you got so many 808s and hot beats. It's just so fucking repetitive, and it's like the human mind right now is just accustomed to competitive life and the 808s. They're not listening to the words, half of them. That's why they can't listen to old school hip hop and fall for it. Generation Z, they can't do that. But the thing is, there is a handful of kids that still do. There is a handful of kids that have that mind and is looking for a voice. And at the end of the day, that's who I rap for. And I did say that in my song Cancel Z. Because, like, I know a lot of people tried to say some shit about my lyrics, that it was fucked up shit I was saying. Like, at the end of the day, cancel me, I'll cancel you. It's my freedom of speech. And then I said to all, to all you, and Gen Zs that rock it out with me, like, I support you. I support you guys. This ain't about you. It's about the other battle. But the thing is, like I said, it's a big battle with people right now within the music industry, with people that are just looking for the 808s, and that's what a lot, like I said, that a lot of the times just some good beats and stuff, that's what they're listening to. They're not listening to the words. So
yeah, no, I definitely feel that, dude. And it's weird. Your art is, I wouldn't say it's like a dying breed, but it's definitely more underground.
Kendrick Lamar just proved that it's not.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, like, coming up as that style and not going towards more of the mainstream hip hop style, it's tough.
It's tough, and you gotta basically find a new method, and that's the hardest thing. So, like, I literally am trying to take lyricism and put it in a way to get the attention of these people, while keeping that new school tempo, but keeping the old school, like that, or not the, I don't even want to say old school, like keeping just the mechanism of hip hop alive, just like what it's meant to do. Hip hop is meant to speak to you, not just make you bop your freaking head. It's made to talk to you. So that's, like I said, my music is for that kid who's alone in the room, feels alone, and doesn't understand that he's not alone. I want them kids to feel, companied. I want them to feel I want them to feel like he gets me. Like,
so what's your goal? Like, what's your goal to come from this? Like, are you trying to be like a legendary rapper? Are you just trying to affect the lives of kids so they could relate to you? Are you trying to get signed by a label? Like, what are your plans?
I mean, this is the one thing I feel like. So when I played football, I was really good at football, and then I ended up getting hurt. I was about to play Division I college, and then I just I got hurt, and it just fucked me up. But out of all that, hip hop is the one thing I get to keep attacking and not get hurt. So it's like, I want to keep going. I want to master hip hop. I want to be a legend in the hip hop industry. I would love to be on a label if they see my freaking if they see my fucking my style and they appreciate it, if they see who I am and they think they can direct me into a way where I can be a mainstream artist, I would love for a label to pick me up. But at the end of the day, if they don't, I'm not going to just stop. I'm going to keep going. That's what this is about. It's more than a game.
Word. So, but is that what you want to end up like? Is that your end goal? Is like your end goal to become a successful artist, or is it just like, you know? Because it's not a bad thing to be like, no, I don't care about like, you know, becoming number one. I just care about sharing my art and people receiving
Oh,
it.
I really want to share my art. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop until I become one of them top lyricists. And at the end of the day, like I said, if say the world didn't get to the point when I leave, and the world don't get to the point where they see me as a top lyricist, but I know I maybe changed a couple hundred kids' lives with my words and gave them something to relate to and got them away from the rope hanging on the fucking ceiling, I know I did something good.
Word, dude. I fuck with that. I fuck with that heavy. So in your music, you know, you talk a lot about like some hard subjects. You know, you talked about, you know, your dad going to jail. You know, can we talk a little bit about that? Are we cool to talk about that?
I mean, my dad.
I mean, we don't have to say like why.
No,
he went or
I mean,
anything, but
it's cool. My father got into his trouble. My father was an addict, alcoholic addict. A lot of times, you know, it's literally a disease. I was just talking to somebody with this at my gym. What he has is a disease that you can't really control it, and it causes the child to lose a father, which is why, like, I'll never put my son through that. I chose to. I'm not doing that shit no more. I cut that shit real quick. When I and I cut it before I was even like in my 20s, because like I just kind of like look back at myself and I'm like, when my grandparents died, it really got me to like where I'm not fucking with this shit no more. None of these drugs. Like, no. I rap about it now because I'm rapping about who I was, but like I cut away from that because I know I have a baby I have to provide for, and that's the most important thing to me right now. My son and then my music. So my son comes first. But like I said, like my father not being there definitely had a big effect on me growing up. And like I said, I understand what he had as a disease and it, you know, but at the end of the day, I had to suffer from that disease. So,
and but you feel like it's taught you a lot and helped you grow, because I feel like
yeah,
you talk a lot.
definitely.
You talk a lot about like, you know, being a father, and me myself, I can't relate on that level, but I've talked about it on the podcast before many times. When my niece was born,
I saw the picture. That was your niece?
Yeah, that's my niece.
The
That's
Christmas
my niece.
picture? Yeah, that was cute, man.
Thanks, dude. Thanks.
I have a nephew too.
Yeah, like it just changed my life, you know. And you know, especially after losing my mom, and then, you know, having new life come into your life, and then, you know, seeing this kid, and like, you know, it's like that's not even like my it's my blood, you know what I mean? But it's not like she's not my kid. But like, man, I look at her, and like I'm in love.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
that's how I feel with my nephew and my son. Shout out Mateo, that's my baby boy. Shout out Gianni, it's my nephew. Daddy and Uncle Dot loves you.
So it has having a son, like changed your perspective, and like, you know, how has it affected your music?
So actually, I haven't been doing a lot in a while. Like when I was a father, it was very stressful. My son was in the hospital for the first month of his life. Like he had some stuff going on.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Thank you. So, you know, he's doing perfect now. He's thriving. But for the first year of because he's going to be 1 tomorrow. Happy birthday, baby boy.
Happy belated birthday, my dude.
So when he, you know, that first year and then plus the pregnancy, I just was off of rap for like a little bit, because like I was just focusing on fatherhood and making sure my son was born. The past couple of months I've been getting back into writing and getting back into it. Like this is my first breakout podcast since I've been off the mic. So I'm finishing my album up now. So he's really inspired me to get back into writing, and I feel like just the thought of having to get success and be successful is the inspiration of my son. Like, I know I need to do it so he can have a good life. This 9 to 5 isn't going to keep doing it for me. And I went to school for music, and I know what I'm good at in music, and I got to keep perfecting it and getting better and better and mastering that. I have something to fight for, and that's my son. I mean, myself too, but my son, I have to fight for his success and his well-being.
Nah, I completely understand that, man. Like, and as a parent, like, your life changes, like, completely. And I feel like, you know, there's a certain sense of, like, before kids become a part of your life that you will never understand. You know what I mean? Couldn't you say, like, you know, like, no one could explain to you the feeling of being a dad.
Right.
No one could explain to you the feeling of holding your kid, you know?
No.
It's like when I hold my niece, dude, it's like a whole different feeling. I do anything for her, bro.
Yeah.
Like anything to help her strive, live. And like, it's like, you know, it almost feels like, you know, what I'm doing now, you know, like she has her mom and her dad and they'd give the world for her, you know, but like, you know, if she ever needed anything from me, you know what I mean? I want to make sure too, like I could be there and also provide and like, you know, give her strength and knowledge and make sure that I'm doing my best. Cause you know, I think the goal is for them always to rise above, you know, whatever. Like that's the immigrant dream, you know?
Yeah,
exactly. And I'm sure your family knows that, you know that.
They all know
as
that.
Italians, you know, me as Latino, Peruvian, you know, you see that in our family, you know, you never want anybody to live through your struggle. Cause like you said before, it's not necessary. He doesn't need to live through having stepdads that like, you know, fuck him up. You know, he doesn't need to live through, you know, going through a fuck childhood, going, you know, family to family, you know? So
exactly.
Tell me, actually, I'm actually interested. You know, you said, how did you end up in Little Falls of all places?
My aunt lives there.
Your aunt lives there.
So the one that adopted me, she lives in Little Falls, and that's how I went to Passaic Valley High School. And then after I lived in Little Falls, I lived in Patterson for a little, like borderline West Patterson. Still was able to go to PV, thank God. And that's how I graduated there. Like I said, my aunt adopted me, and
Word.
That's how I got into Little Falls.
Word, dude. And like, if this is too deep of a topic, we don't have to go into it. But she adopted you. Like, did something happen with your mom, or?
So, my her most recent ex-husband, stuff happened with him and her, and it psychologically affected my mom to where it just kind of like we lost a lot. And then not only that, but my mom's parents died. So that was really hard for her. So like I could really, now that I look back today, I'm like, damn, it hit me hard. I can't imagine how it hit her. She was with them for freaking 30, 40 years. So it really psychologically affected my mom to where she kind of had to take her time off and just kind of like, you know, she couldn't do really much. It just was killing her. So, you know, my aunt did take me in, and, you know, that's why I always respect my aunt and uncle, and they're like my other parents. Like, I got so many parents, man.
Dude, bless them, bro. Because honestly, like, when someone goes through, like, the traumatic events that you've gone through, like, it really takes a village, you know?
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise someone, and I could definitely relate, man, because I've had people in my life, too, you know, like, you know, thankfully I've had both my parents, and, you know, like, but their thing was like they were working all the time, right? And like, you know, we never got to experience, you know, those big family things that you get to see sometimes, and it's sometimes through other people's families,
right,
that you get to finally experience that family. So I feel you when you say like, you know, that's my cousin, that's my blood, but nah, that's my brother, you know, those are my sisters, because it's like, it's that kind of culture you grow up with, where it's like, yo, it's like, listen, like it's not about the biological shit, you know what I mean? It's about what I feel and what I would do for you, you know what I mean?
Right.
And when you say brother, say sister, and it's funny. I'm thinking about only like Italian movie. You know what I mean? Where it's like hey,
rest
that's
in
my
peace,
brother.
Ray
You know what I
Liotta.
mean? Hell yeah. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. And that happened recently, dude. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Do you to figure out we'd lighten some of the topics a little bit. Have you ever watched like the Godfather movies or the Sopranos?
Dude, I had the whole collection, man.
Yeah?
I have the whole Sopranos collection. Rest in peace, Gandolfini too. I mean, there's so many people that fucking died. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I haven't watched The Sopranos yet, and I haven't watched The Godfather. I know. It's like, and especially me being like,
terminate him. No.
Especially like, you know, being from Jersey, I should, but it's crazy. The Sopranos is the thing that I want to watch the most right now.
Yeah, you definitely need to.
I actually used to work at a restaurant that James Gandolfini used to own.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's actually called, it's in Cedar Grove, actually.
Really?
It's a steakhouse. It's called Delmonico's
Damn.
Steakhouse.
I gotta
And
try that.
the owners used to be James Gandolfini, and I don't even know who the owner is now. It was James Gandolfini, and the partner is the guy who owns it now. But the guy who owns it now, I don't think he really owns it anymore. I think he sold it to his daughter, and now his daughter and her husband. Shout out my old boss. I don't think he watches my podcast.
Fuck it, shout out.
Yeah, it's actually funny. That was the last job I quit before I started doing podcasting full time. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think he was happy with me like leaving and following my dreams, but he's happy for me. You know what I mean? But it's like you lose a waiter, and it's like, fuck, I need to find someone else. So I get it. But yeah, and there's actually, if you go into the restaurant, there's like, they have old newspaper clippings and stuff, like any Jersey business, you know what I mean? When they got, Jersey legends who walk in and out of there. And they have some James Gandolfini stuff in there, it's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
So, tell me a little bit more. You made a, actually, it's you actually have some pretty good numbers going up on Spotify.
So actually, yeah. So man, that's from just grinding my ass off. I mean, so I did. If anybody knows hip hop, you guys got to know who like Cool G Rap is, Master Ace, EPMD. So for me doing all them shows, I actually got a lot of respect. I ended up doing a single featuring EPMD, produced by a producer from Bad Boy Records. So that song is called City Dreams, that I made during COVID, like just kind of trying to get people inspired and get them up. So I did that with EPMD. I went into their studio. They have an Italian engineer. I met him. He was pretty cool. Yeah, shout out him, man.
That you walked in there and you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm like, oh, shit. Man, you're going to have me sound like Sinatra real quick. So I get there, and dude, there's gold records fucking everywhere, because EPMD, like, that's what they were made to do. Like, no, if you know EPMD, like, they even said in their music, like, 30 days later the LP went gold. So what you saying? Like, they were just nuts, man. So that was my first time I did a feature with like legends, and I'm like, and they were hyped up on my lyrics. So I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm sitting in there. That had to be one of the best days of my life, just being in that studio, recording on the mic and everything, just kind of like with them. And I'm like, man, like, I'm with the foundation of hip hop. I have to be doing something right to be here right now. So that happened. And then just like working with these people I do the shows for, I find out the guy that ran the shows looks to me, he's like, yo, with your music and everything, you're so technical with your lyrics, you would be really good with Master Ace. I was like, you know Master Ace? Like this is crazy. Like, I know, because like I listened to him growing up. Like, Master Ace got one of my favorite, like, one of my songs now that I relate to the most to him is The Grind, where he's like, I'm on the grind, still got my money on my mind, and I feel like I'm walking on the line. Like, that song is just so fucking, like, it speaks to your soul. He's like, he's like, I work hard on the job like immigrants, and always try to get my first half in advance. Like, this guy's fucking nuts. All right, so I hit him up. I get his phone number.
Word, that's sick.
I just start talking to him, and then I'm telling him, like, I fucking love your music, man. So I was like, I've been listening to you since my mom. Like, because my mom literally showed me hip hop. Mm-hmm. I remember, like I said, when my grandparents were alive, we used to live there because we had to leave our place and everything because of restraining orders and all this shit. So I'm literally at my grandparents' house every day. My mom had to drive me like 45 minutes to go to school. So we would listen to like 5:30, 6 in the morning. We're listening to satellite radio, old school hip hop. My mom's sitting there dancing her shoulders and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? And then I'm just like listening to the lyrics, and that's how I really fell in love with it. Like I said, I'm sitting there listening to Master Ace and everything. So I have this conversation with Master Ace on the phone, and we come to find out, like, there was a single I didn't even hear. Master Ace did a joint with Eminem. Eminem praises Master Ace. Like, Master Ace is a reason Eminem's to where he is right now. So if you actually listen to Eminem's Kamikaze album, like, and you listen to it, there's a part where Eminem's like, he's like, gotta bring Master Ace back because half of these rappers have brain damage. Like, here I am bringing a motherfucker out on a new, like, up bumping single. Because, like, Master Ace is still doing shit, but he's doing shit in his own lane. And I have so much respect for him. And, like, that shit is going to pop at some point. But the fact that I can get Master Ace to do his lyrical job and duty on a new up hard hitting beat like that could break the internet. I'm like, yo, I'm answering Eminem's question right now. Or question. I'm answering Eminem's like statement. He's saying, bring that motherfucker back. I'm doing that right now. I'm getting somewhere. Like, it was all unfolding when I did that song, Risk It All. That's like my best song right now. It almost got 50,000 streams, and it playlists every week. Playlisting is one of the biggest things to get your streams up there. Is you got to get the shit playlisted. But if you keep producing stuff and you produce quality content, Spotify will playlist it for you.
Facts. Big facts.
Like, I had another song I did, Rest in Peace Kobe, with my boy Sylvester Watkins, my other boy Demon, who passed away too. Rest in peace, Demon. We all jumped on it. My boys from Newark. We all jumped on this song called Legendary that I created. It was a hook, and I did the last verse. And then my boy Sylvester was on the first verse. Demon was on the second verse. Like, that song was for Kobe. And yeah, like I just been doing so much shit but that song is playlisting now. Like, people are picking up that song. And then the song I just did against Generation Z, Cancel Z. That song is getting hype. Everybody's getting a hold of that shit, and people listen to it as a workout song. It became a workout song somehow. I actually got a couple of good plans for that music video that I want to do. So, like, I have a location. My best friend, he has a abandoned house in his backyard. So, like, with the whole shit with Johnny Depp and stuff going on right now, a lot of people were trying to cancel Eminem a couple of months ago because of the Love the Way You Lie song. When he talks about, like, throwing the girl in the house and burning the house on fire. So my one idea for my new video, I want to dress up as Captain Hook and throw Amber Heard in the house and burn the shit down. Like, that shit, I'm telling you, that shit will sell. Like, you got to have a mindset for shit like that. Like, that's the shit you got to do. You just got to act like a fucking lunatic, and people are going to want to watch you.
Facts. I think definitely the more noise you make, the more eyes you'll get on you.
Exactly.
You know, but it's very important to what you do with those eyes. Funny enough, I was talking to like I said again, yesterday I recorded a podcast with Lupe, and we just went down on a lot of great topics. And we were talking about how the industry has changed now to where I think it's hard to do what you're exactly doing because you're not doing like what I would say pop rap, which is kind of like a term I guess I just made up because pop rap to me is kind of like Drake, Travis Scott,
right?
You know what I mean? It's what's popular right now. Pop right now, pop in general, it's just popular music. That's just what it means. Popular music. What's popular in the industry right now? What's the most hard hitting shit right now?
You got to create
hip-hop.
your own.
It's
pop.
rap. Exactly.
And that's the thing. So, like, even that Cancel Z song, I didn't realize kids were going to actually mess with it, but the hook is so hard and catchy, and that's what they like is the catchy stuff. So the hook is just like, shots up when you're passing the villain. You don't want to be toasting in the back of a Dylan. I'm an asshole joking, but I like to be a villain to a forefront. Fucking take a nap at the ceiling. I'm a freak show here to give it. Like, they just like that shit, and that's like some kind of like I don't know. I guess they maybe think of like Jack Harlow or some shit when they hear that, because it's just kind of like that like laid back fucking like. It's crazy because it's laid back, it has a nice flow, it's catchy, but at the same time, it's saying some crazy shit.
But it's also like, you know, like I feel like your beats, like they're kind of like more old school. You know what I mean? And it's
true.
It's hard. It's hard because like what I was trying to say is like when you get the number one thing right now is I feel like you got to get eyes on you, right? And this is not just advice on you. This is just advice in the industry, right? And I think the perfect person, rest in peace, X, right?
Right, X, yes.
He played the game perfectly. You want to know why? Man was obviously super talented, but nobody
went
knew
to jail for his mama. Tell me that is not a man.
Exactly.
I said that in my song. I did it. That's crazy that you brought that up. When X died, I felt like I was crushed too. Like, I was just like, damn. That same day, 2 hours later, I put out like my words to him. Like, I made a message for him. Literally within 2 hours of him dying, I put that shit out. And then, like, man, like, I just can't believe he died. Like, I'm still fucked up by that. But
yeah, dude. But you know, I'm like, check this out. Let me know your thoughts on it, because X, what popped off his career? What actually popped off his career? Kicking my dick on my pants.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he's doing your man. You know,
Yeah,
and,
no,
and
but-
how many people started looking at him because of that song?
And you know what the crazy thing is? He didn't record that, and nobody else. He recorded that shit himself.
Yeah, but the point being is like everybody started looking at him, and whether it was hate or whether it was like, you know, I like this song because it's hilarious, it's fucked up, and I could jam to it and fucking mosh pit to it. He wrote that shit.
Yeah.
But tell me how, like 2 albums later or an album later, you know what I mean?
Dude.
He's doing a Screamo song with Kanye West.
Yep.
What other rapper could do that?
Yep.
What other rappers have that type of like, you
Nobody.
know, like, you know, he also had his melodic songs where he's more of just singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the hell, Juice World is kind of a little bit on that, in that relation. You can kind of put him in that category. Like, I mean, his one song, "Lucid Dreams," probably is like one of the most iconic songs recently in hip hop.
Yeah, but like, you know, my point being, like, you know, just to end the thought is just like playing the game right now is a lot like making a lot of noise, getting all that eyes on you, right? And then putting your artwork out at its top level, you know? Because if you have all those eyes on you, what point is having all that eyes on you if you have nothing in the bank to show for it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how you become a one-hit wonder.
So that's basically what inspired my upcoming album that I'm working on now. Like I said, I'm getting my shit straight. I got to record some songs. This album's going to be called La Commedia. And the reason I'm calling it that is because my name's Dante. So every time I run into people, Dante's Inferno, blah, blah, blah. And then you run into Italian, La Commedia. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, Dante Alighieri, La Divine Comedy. Like, so I'm like, man, I mean, this isn't going to be exact keystone to what Dante Alighieri in the Renaissance wrote. There's a comedy, but this is going to be like my comedy. This is just my version. Like, the shit I went through, the jokes, the sad times, the fun times, the craziest times of my, you know, I'm just trying to get as much of that as I can on thought on an album. And I'm trying to do it as at the same time as to where I'm drawing everything in hip hop together. So it's like, I'm trying to bring that old school touch as well as the new school. Like, I'm trying to get new school beats with like good lyricism on it. Like I said, that song, Risk It All, Cancel Z, Wicked Mind, those aren't all old school beats. Those are like more new hype beats. Those are more 808s, and I'm trying to keep that shit there. What I care more about is the lyricism. And that's a crazy thing, is like somebody might hear a beat without my words and be like, this is a nice new school beat. But then the minute you hear my lyrics, it's like I'm taking you back at the same time as you're bopping to the new school beat. It's like a fucking... It's like a whole rotation of everything at once. And and that's kind of like, you were kind of saying that before, how you were like I could hear like Eminem, you're like, I don't know, like I listen to your stuff and like you can have that up tempo stuff and then you can like also take me back into an old school flow. That's what I'm doing. I like change everything up. And I've been doing it like that and I haven't stopped because I know I'm getting new fans all the time. So like even like a person, like a kid from now is going to listen to my stuff, hear that influence from like the new age. And then also he never heard old school before. So he's going to hear the old school part and actually bump to that, cause that shit is still bumping. I mean, that shit don't go away. That's original. Like that's original hip hop. That's never going to leave.
So do me a favor. One thing we didn't touch up upon yet is performing. And you're performing, and you talked a little bit at some point about battle rap. Do you ever go to these battle rap events or anything like that?
That's a good question. So I have before. So like, all right. So when we do when I go to the shows for like Power 105, because that's basically what I've been doing most of the time, is just headstrong Power 105. Hot 97 don't have as much good events, and when they do, it's just like it costs an arm and a leg just to get over there, or like. Power 105 is the most convenient thing, and they promote hip-hop, I feel, the most right now. So I've been doing, like, that showcases. And when we do those showcases, we hit times where we do freestyle and battle raps and stuff. So, yeah, I've been doing it there. I really want to expand a little more, and I want to go into, like, I want to go into like other states and stuff, and I got to look on a site and see what they got going on for other places where you can do battle rap, or even just freestyle. And like, fuck that, just do a freestyle, come out and just show what you got in the top of the dome.
How are these events like? Because honestly, I've never heard about them.
So there's not as much battle rap anymore. Like I said, that's very hard to find, and it happens very rarely. The last time I think I even had a freestyle one other than my Power 105, like something different, was when I went to upstate New York, in like Rockland County, and there was a event that I performed at, and we did a little freestyle battle rap thingy. But it's so rare now because like this world has just evolved away from it. The only way you can really battle rap now is diss tracks. That's what everybody's looking at right now. Like that whole last time I remember a battle rap, like every time you think of battle rap now, it's like, oh, you remember when Drake battled Pusha T? You remember when Eminem battled MGK and then battled Benzi? Like those are just diss tracks. Now that's what battle rap's labeled as. Like battle rap is just kind of fading and it's hard to find it. And if I could find it, I'd love to be a part of it.
Facts. It's hard, you know. I talk to a lot of the artists that I have here in Jersey, man. Like Jersey's not really a pro hip hop state, you know what I mean? It's not, especially for performers.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of anywhere that you could perform except for there's this one place or this one event. I forget where it is. It actually might be in Red House that you have it. I'm not
Red
sure.
House?
But it's called Mad Minds. And they have a whole bunch of artists there, dude. And like, you know, I see you collabing with, you know, like, you know, you doing the stuff with the artists you were talking about before. But man, I think collaborating and like letting people fuck with your music is number one, dude.
Well, that's the thing is like I want to collaborate with people. That's what I'm here for. Art is something that has to be shared. Art is something that has to have combining and stuff to make it whole. All right, so for example, with producing, I wish I had a producer and engineer that would understand my way, how I want something that could see my vision, because that's a hard thing. And it's just as hard for a producer to actually find an artist that can give you that extra spark to make your shit pop. Because you got to understand, there is 1,000,001 beats out there, but there's only a handful of talented writers that you can find out there. It's very hard to find these people. It's so easy to find producers. You can go on YouTube, free for profit. All that shit sounds dope as hell. That's all I need to fuck a beat up. But I want to find a producer that understands me, wants to work with me, and has the same vision I have, that wants to make money with me, wants to put their shit on my album. Like, yo, let's make this album. I'm going to produce this. I'll record you. Bring me some fire fucking bars. Let's make an album. I'm a co-producer. You're the artist on the album. Like, that's so... If you had people working like that, promoting that shit from both parties, you guys are both going to make money at the end of the day on that album. May not be a shitload of money at that moment, but the more you put out, the better. The more you guys grind that shit together, like when I was talking to you, when I first said hi to you before we started this, you were telling me how you have your little team here and you guys do everything together. That's what I'm kind of searching for right now. I'm searching for that team to be a part of that believes in my shit, just like I believe in their beats, and we just gonna work together and make it happen. The thing is hard right now because everybody wants a quick buck rather than seeing the millions in the future.
I could 100% fucking agree with that, dude. It's hard. It's not easy making money from this. And I've said this on pods before, man. To this day, today is what? June 11th, I think it is?
Yeah.
Till June 11th, have not made a dime off the podcast.
Stream his podcast, man. I mean, come on. He's talking to good-ass people. Like, this is crazy.
I appreciate it. But it's a part of the grind. It's a part of the hustle. And it's a part of, you know.
It is.
Going and doing this. And, you know, you will find that, you know, the art itself. Actually, this is actually a good topic, dude. And this is a hard pill to swallow, I think, for all creators and artists. Your art will most likely not be the thing directly itself. that will make you the money that you're looking for.
Exactly.
It just
you need a team.
Yeah, it just doesn't make it. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because it's like the engineer's gonna look at you like you can't do what you could do without me. I'm gonna look at the engineer like you can't do what you can't do without me, and everybody just separates. They don't realize how important each other is to each other.
Yeah, it's like, dude, even if you had 3 million, my friend, he had I think 1 million or like 1.5 million streams on one of his songs that he released on Spotify, and he was telling me how out of that 1 million, 1.5 million,
Probably made 1,500.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know the math.
And it's like
it's 0.000042 cents a stream. Now the thing is though, when you put that 1.5 out, you're gonna be playlisted constantly, so he's gonna keep getting money coming in. It's not like, and the thing is now actually because I distribute my stuff through United Masters. United Masters has this thing where when you release your music, you can add co-producers. So I'm looking for people who want to be on my album and see the same money I'm gonna see with my streams. And that's gonna put in the work with me. Who wants to produce with me? Who wants to collaborate with me? Get this album popping. Once I do that, the only thing I'm asking for, I want to put, because you could have like 2 other co-producers. So I want to have the engineer, whatever, and what I want to put on the bottom is my son for this album. I want my son's name to be a co-producer on the album so he can get royalty for the rest of his life. And I'm hoping with this album, if it's that good, by the time my son is like 18, he's gonna have college funds ready to go.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say, bro, because like, you know, I think most of the money isn't in the music itself, unless like, you know, longevity wise, you know, when you release more and more
longevity,
and more,
yeah,
you know, like
it's the hustle, man.
It's
you
the hustle.
It's the hustle, and you got to, and it's, are you getting better? It's like, is what you're saying actually? Are you getting harder? Like, are you attracting more people? Like I said, it's like. And even what you said about longevity, like I had one song a year later, now it's starting to playlist. Now people are starting to pick it up. Now people are starting to share it. And I look at, because I get to look at my analytics and stuff on Spotify for artists, and I'm seeing people are sharing my stuff more now, a little bit after I dropped it. And a lot of that has to do because I didn't push it as much when I did it. Like I just made it and I was like all happy about it myself. My marketing and promotion like didn't really match up to my lyrical talent at the time. So now I'm kind of learning how to market a little better. Like I get better at everything each day. Now, if I had somebody on the team that knew how to market, fuck it, man, this shit be sailing. Because it's really easy to market my stuff. You just got to know where to put it.
Facts, dude, facts. Before we're actually coming to pretty close to the end of the podcast. But I still had a couple more questions, and then we still had the freestyle to play at the end, right? You still
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right,
yeah.
Sick. My last question, actually, I had 2 questions for you. Number 1, when's the first time you performed in front of a crowd and it was sick? Like, what's your sickest memory from performing in front of a crowd?
Dude. So I'll get all of this answered. So like my first time I ever performed in front of a crowd was in Pennsylvania when I was in my one school. I sang a Tupac song. People lost their mind. It was cool. And then when I was in PV, I did a talent show. I sang 2 songs that were originals that people liked. But my first performance, I remember that I rocked the crowd, was when I did everything original. I did it at my college, and I did a show there, and I had my LA shirt on, like my tank top. And like I just remember like I was just going off. This was when I was raw. I was like a mixture of fucking like Tech Nine and Will Smith or some shit on the stage. Like it was just like it was so different. Like, and people were really fucking with me. And that was probably my first show I remember I rocked. And then after that I did a show, and this is when I kind of expanded more, and I went to Brooklyn and I did a show. And that show, I had my Italia jacket on and everything. I had the whole damn basement in Brooklyn fucking going. Like, it was like I was the opening act, and I didn't give a fuck. Like, everybody loved that about me.
That's sick.
And, like, I had everybody united and everything. That was when I was really speaking about unity and stuff. Like, everybody really loved it.
Word, dude. Word.
And I speak about unity a lot in my music. Like, there was a music video I did called "Is the City Breathing?" That's like still my highest stream music video. And that one I did right in Patterson in fucking Hinchcliffe Stadium. And that was like that spoke. That song like could really hit you. It was a deep old school type of, like, it had a deep message. But yeah.
Word, dude. Fuck yeah. My last question for you, dude. What advice would you give to yourself when you were 13 and you just started writing music? What advice would you give yourself to if you were speaking to yourself now?
Don't focus on what everybody else is saying about you and thinking about you. Right after school, you write after school. Go home, write, get your shit going. Keep working. Keep studying. Keep. I should have been reading more. I should have been more into what I wanted to do. Now that I knew I wanted to do hip hop, I should have been more studying marketing, getting ready to go. Like, I should have done more in school. I should have, like, that's what I would have told myself. Learn how to market. Learn how to do these things. Put your music out more. Whatever money I was making, because when I was a kid, I used to work in brick oven pizzerias making pizzas at 13. Like, save that money and go to a studio. Start recording now. Like, put money into it now. All that money I was wasting on dumb shit, fuck that. Spend it on promoting your music and getting your music out there as a kid. Because then you could have found a label that early. Because they would have wanted that extra 10 years that they don't have now.
I respect that, dude. I actually thinking of one more thing that I think is cool. That just kind of came up. I always like to think about these podcasts as almost like a time capsule. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be cool if you're cool with it. You know, if you want to say anything to your son, future. You know, he's watching back at
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
You're about to be one tomorrow. You have accomplished so fucking much. I love you with all my heart, man. And everything you've been through already, your first year of life, I am so proud of you, man. From your first steps a couple, like 2-3 weeks ago, that means so much to me to see how successful you are right now and to know that I have a big part of it. You know, just keeping the roof over your head and everything. You're going to know all of this in the future of everything I'm doing right now. I love you so much, and I am so proud of you. Happy birthday, my baby boy. By the way, there's a song I made for him, too. It's called Mateo's Lullaby. I actually think that's my highest stream song. But it's called Mateo's Lullaby. That's my baby, man.
Sick, dude. Sick.
And the crazy thing is, even when he's older, if he goes somewhere and he is thousands of miles away where nobody would know, I guarantee you I will still find a way to find my son. He will never leave. Like, I will never leave him. Like, I'll always have that connection with him. I will always know where he is somehow.
Respect, man. Big respect. Shouts out to Mateo, bro. I hope I get to meet you at some point one day, man. Much love, bro. All right, dude. You ready to hop into this?
Yeah, man.
Sick, dude.
What do we got going on?
Just give me 1 second to set it up.
Okay. Let's do this.
All right. Give me 1 second. We're just going to do a quick mic check on this. You want to check the level? That level cool for you?
Yeah, maybe a little lower. Let me see. Yeah, like a little higher. Sorry. There we go. Okay.
All right, sick. I'm gonna start it from the top. Okay? Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
I bet, bro. Whenever you're ready, dude.
Yo, Gini-MOB. Yo. Driving around the 4th Ward in my 4-door Civic, eating a 4-course bucket of chicken, wheeling around and I'm eating 4 more. Sees whores in the bottom of Hinchcliffe and guarding the gate with 3 boars. Paying for my baby mama stuff, she's all blessed with government funds. Told the system I was homeless. I ain't lying, hit the studio, record a whole set, taking live nudes, chilling with goats and cold sheds. You were warned, stay out of my sight in the store. I'm in 9-4 with a mic biting the cord. This is kinda all that I do right when I'm bored. I just wanna a rubber like a fucking dyke on her force. Boys like Batman having a bad day. He's agitated, so he gives Abby a better face and added the mace out of her backpack in a case of laxatives. All I can say is that is a waste. I'm acting today, sweating on the elliptical. Got motivated after seeing vids of Lizzo when she jiggles. I'm getting fit, ho. I like the fit-o. All the shit that I encounter, I'm making this vivid life a demo. My past is cursed. Let's backtrack with a her and Amber Heard dropping a turd inside a purse and had it left on Johnny Depp's side of the bed. I mean, I'm sleeping in shit. What's it take to be an idol instead? Since age 8, I was playing the same game. I used my vocab skills to hide and escape pain. The fathers who gave aches and the others who claim rape set a psycho out. My ego's insane rage, now I'm after any brother doubt and master. I'm sneaking and eating the great grandmas out in Crown Plazas. I won't fall, not even if the fucking cloud splatters. There's more to this game, everybody in the cloud matters. Whew.
Dude. Oh shit, bro. Yo, you got some bars, bro. Fuck.
Gini-MOB.
Gini-MOB, bro. Yo, round of a fucking applause for you, bro. Hell yeah, my fucking boy. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast, bro. Bro, that Amber Heard one got me fucking, yo. As soon as I heard that, I was like, Amber Heard and a turd. I was like, oh shit, that's funny as hell, bro. Yo, Gini-MOB, my boy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you for coming on. Mm-hmm. Let the people know where they could find you.
Okay. You guys can find me on Spotify, Instagram, did I say Spotify? I said Spotify. Man, I remember. I can freestyle, but I can't remember what the hell I'm talking about. Spotify, not really SoundCloud anymore. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Deezer. What's that other one everybody goes on now? The one that Jay-Z owns. Tidal. You got it, man. How the hell do I forget? Yeah, Tidal. You can find me on anything, man. Just go on Google and type in Gini-MOB. Gini, line through the middle, capital M, capital O, capital B. Gini-MOB. You can find me anywhere. That's all you got to do is find me, Gini-MOB.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right, we about to smoke this eighth right now. Kids, don't do drugs. Do not do drugs, okay? We're about to smoke this eighth, but you guys don't do it, okay? I love all of you guys. Have a good day.
All right, guys, y'all already know the business. Ayoo Chill on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can find your
Gini-MOB.
Gini-MOB. Y'all already know. Look him up. And all right, my boy, let's get the fuck out of here.
Gain knowledge, never ignorant. Gini-MOB.
Let's get out of here, bro. Sick, dude.
Yeah.
How was it, man? Cool.
It was good, man.